sis and tell. A whole lot of talk, about a whole lot of nothing. Amanda does stand up, Alison's on TV, and when they hop on the phone, it's the place you wanna be. Sis and tell.
Hey, Allie.
Hey, man, I have something I want to talk about.
Oh.
You notice how I didn't say, how are you?
No, yeah, because you wanted to go into your subject, and I couldn't even say anything weird or funny.
I know.
Wait,
that's because
can we just establish
you
that
will
this is
no.
not...
See, here it goes. Right,
No.
I'm going to forget what I have to say. That's why. Go ahead.
I'm just saying we cannot talk about dieting or Orange Theory. Those are my two requests.
Okay, I haven't been to Orange Theory since March of 2020, and that's a sore subject. Thank you for bringing that up. And fine, I won't tell you how my vegan intermittent fasting lifestyle is going, where I've now done a twist with Mediterranean style eating. Fine, I won't go into that. This is nothing to do with either of those things. This has to do with hairstyles.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
Are you happy with this?
Are you changing your hairstyle?
No. Well, so that's the question. So I'm going to give credit where credit is due. So I don't really socialize with many people, right? So this is not to say it's not a good topic, but I have 2 running partners, and then I have my husband and our son who's at home. So that and the Publix grocery people, the people who work at Publix, those are for all intents and purposes.
That Publix is my new best friend. Yes.
Yeah. This is if I still wrote my humor column, the next column would be my bubble is Publix, right? Publix is my social bubble. So anybody who can relate to that is hopefully laughing. Anyway, so one of my running partners, we were talking yesterday, right? This is one of the few people I talked to, but she brought up something, and I told her we're going to turn this into a podcast, so she'll be very happy. So we were talking about hairstyles and how she said that she really hasn't changed her hairstyle in years, right? To be fair, she has awesome hair. What we would consider really awesome hair, because it's naturally straight, right? It has like just a little bit of a bounce, really like it is this beautiful color, like auburn, right? And her kids have that same color too. So she just has, it's just great. I know. Don't you love redheads? And mommy always thought she would have a redheaded grandchild, much to her chagrin. We did not produce one.
I mean, I guess Alan had reddish hair when he was little.
Oh, right. Alan had a tint of auburn in his hair when he was really little, so mommy was holding on to that hope. She was also holding on to the fact that Uncle Joel and Aunt Sandy had a redheaded kid, and they both have black hair. So there is that recessive gene that could be somewhere in the universe.
Did you know, and this is slightly off topic because it still has to do with hair, that all of the Jewish people with red hair apparently share like some sort of shared DNA from some shtetl in Eastern Europe? Like they're all from the same place. Go look it up. It's true.
Okay.
It's true because I saw it somewhere and I can't remember, but it's true.
Okay. So the redheaded producing shtetl aside, and it's not even redhead, but anyway, so Jalen was saying how she's never changed her hair, right? But she is also convinced that her husband doesn't want her to, right? And now she started getting into this theoretical question, right? Do you think your husband or even your wife or your spouse, whatever, right, that your partner wants you to maintain the same hairstyle that they met you having, right? Like that they're somehow, and maybe this is more specific to, hetero couples, like that the man who meets the woman for the first time wants to hold on to that. Because she also said that, she'd love for her husband to change his hairstyle. She doesn't care, but that he, and I said, well, Alan has changed his hair a bunch and mine's pretty much the same as we met. And the irony is, and this was added proof, she liked that this was my proof. My hair is naturally curly. We've established that. But when we started dating in 1996, I had just started really sort of daily straightening my hair. Not to say it was straight. And so we did start dating when my hair was straight. And if I ever try to wear it curly, he may deny this, he can't stand it, right? He wants it to be straight. That might just be because he thinks I look terrible with curly hair. But it does give added proof to this idea that maybe the men or your spouse of any sort want you to look the same as when you met, which would explain, we were going into some people who do still maintain sort of those, 70s style haircuts or the 80s style perms. Again, there's really no full proof on this, but I thought I would ask you because you do have a hairstyle that has somewhat changed, but pretty much stayed the same.
So I think Alan does not like your hair curly because then you look more like me, and that freaks him out. That's what I think. I think I really do. I think I bet you ask, and he'll say that's one of the reasons. It really freaks him out. And my hair was long, and I used to try and straighten it in college, though that never worked. But when I met Aaron, I'd always wanted to cut my hair super short, and he thought I would look good with it. So it gave me the boost to like chop it off. Remember, I showed up at someone's wedding with my hair short, and I looked like you circa 1987 with
I did have
that bob.
very short curly bob, yes.
But I know, but like going from straight to curly or curly to straight is pretty significant, right, for anyone. But you've gone from like long hair to short hair, but there's not much more you can do. Right? I don't think it's because of the husband thing, because I've seen those women with those really dated haircuts who are hairstyles who then go on to some sort of makeover show, and the husband is like, yeah, hot damn, finally. Right? So I don't think I don't know if it has anything to do with the husband other than sometimes or your wife giving you that boost to do something different. Like sometimes, because people I think are really stuck on hair and it affecting the way you look. And I think people are afraid to change, and that if you got the approval, so to speak, or the encouragement, I'd say, from your partner, that you're more likely to do it.
Right. And I will say the person that comes to mind who disproves this theory totally is my sister-in-law, Lauren, because she literally in the 25 years that I've known her has changed her hairstyle, her hair color, everything more times than anything. She actually, she told me the story once. She had all these photos and from, when her kids were young and she was organizing it. And one of the babysitters was looking at all the photos and said, "Who's that woman right there?" And Lauren said, "That's me." And she goes, "Oh, well then who's that woman?" She goes, "That's me too." like not just like me, like, okay, sometimes I'll cut it 2 inches and then I grow it back out 4 inches, right? She will go blonde to brown to bangs to short to curly to, I mean, it's amazing. And she wears them all beautifully and has such confidence to be able to do it. I always say, oh, when I start coloring my hair, I'm going to color it purple or pink, or I'll go blonde. I'll put in some red streaks. I'm so nervous to do that. She is so bold because it's just hair. I give her so much credit because over the years, she really has, she's always been her, but just like a different sort of like version of her. Same with women who wear wigs, right? That they can really do up their hair in totally different ways every day if they want. And I give them credit. I think that's an awesome, way to approach life.
Okay, so if you could do anything to your hair, right? What would you do? I don't think you would do anything drastic. You would really like put purple in your hair. That doesn't seem very on brand.
No, but I think if I could permanently straighten my hair, right? If someone said, okay, we're going to put in this product, but your hair can never go back to curly, right? It will now be straight. I'd say, fine. I have no regrets, right? It's not like I wake up some days and go, oh, I'm going to wear it back to my curly. Now, if you had asked my 15-year-old self if I could do my hair anyway, I would have said, I want wings. Just like Farrah Fawcett, right? And
yeah.
Charlie's Angels. Like, please give me the beautiful, like not straight hair, but like the hair you can fluff and you can push the bangs out so that they make wings. I just wanted wings, right? Didn't we all want wings in the 80s?
No, I didn't. No, I was never into, you know what? And we would go to Jewish sleepaway camp up north, and their hairstyles were totally different, and their clothes. Like, I was like, they had the big bangs, like the claw bangs. Do you know what I'm talking about?
With the hairspray.
Yeah, with the hair. There's like it's like your hand is like stuck. I mean, I know no one can see me, but I've got like my hand stuck on my head with like, they had like these claw bangs, and they'd make them real big, and
it's like a rooster.
Wanted big hair, and they were wearing Z Cavaricis. They were wearing like pleated jeans, like jeans with like pleats in the front. Like, we didn't do that. We were wearing, oh gosh, whatever mommy told us to, I guess. But like, I was wearing like tie dye and OP outfits, and I don't even know. Esprit.
Splatter paint. Remember the splatter painted sweatshirts?
Oh, yeah. Well, that was even before my camp time. Splatter paint was more like when I was like 5. But yeah, you were a
Right.
teenager.
That
but
makes sense. The math works out that I was wearing it during my formative years, and you got away with it because you were 5. We were wearing the same clothes,
Right.
just 7 years apart.
So yeah, I mean haircuts I don't think are regional anymore like they used to be. I always wanted my hair like I guess the best way to describe it is the like Amelie hair. You know that movie?
No.
That French bob. It's like a French bob. It's very straight. You have to have like super straight hair to do it. The thick bangs, right? And the French bob. That's what I would do. I would get a wig. I don't think that my hair would fit underneath it,
I
though.
think you should get a wig
I've
just to
tried.
try it out. A wig is a safe way to try out a hairstyle because you just take it off, right? It's not like you have to do something to your hair.
But there's nothing safe about I could not do that. You also have to know that your hair texture, right? Like I've gone to my hairstylist so many times asking for bangs. And he
Oh, thank
says,
goodness he said
Amanda,
no.
yeah. Well, he's like, look what I know. Everyone says no to me, but he's also like, look what where your hair naturally parts, and that's what your bangs would do. Which is, it's like I have a slightly askewed middle part, right? Speaking of which, all over TikTok, people are talking about how the new trend is to part your hair in the middle, and all the old people part their hair on the side. The young people part their hair in the middle. But I made a TikTok video where I was like, you know what we call that? We call that middle part
What?
a butt cut. A butt cut, right? Growing up, no one wanted a butt cut, and
No.
now all the kids want butt cuts. I don't understand.
You know who I think has a middle part is Sarah Jessica Parker, and she can get away with it. She's so gorgeous. She was doing announcing for the Golden Globes the other day on the Morning Today show. Anyway, she has, I noticed because, I just noticed her style too. I'm pretty sure she has a middle part.
But she's got good. Well, look, there's certain hairstyles that are good for middle
Right.
parts. Not mine. I tried it. It doesn't look right. I mean, I think I'd also have to get my hair cut accordingly because he always asks me, are you still parting your hair on the side or do you want to do the
Right.
middle? So maybe he's trying to get me. I'm going to talk to him. Maybe he's trying to get me to do the middle part, and that's his like surreptitious way of being like, it doesn't look good on the side. No, he would tell me though. I trust him though because I've literally walked in to my hair salon before and I've said, do whatever you want, whatever
That's
you think.
bold.
Just this is the one direction I gave him, which is make me freaking adorable. That's what I said. I said, just make me adorable, extreme adorableness. That's what I want, and he did. I'm adorable.
Well, the only real hair regret I had is when I was pregnant with Abe. And, this is back when I used to go, back to the salon where I just would pick a time and whatever stylist was available. And I said, it was sort of like the Amelie reference you made before. I really wanted just a blunt cut, no bangs, but a blunt bob, right? I already had a kid. I had one in tow. I'm like, okay, I just need something really simple. I said, a blunt cut. I said, no layers, right? Straight across at my shoulder. I couldn't have been more specific, right? All of a sudden,
It's the Julia Roberts thing. It's what Julia Roberts did in Steel Magnolias, and she cut off all of her gorgeous hair. And her mom's
know.
like, "What did you do?" What's her name? Charlene? No, what's her name in Steel Magnolias?
the mother.
No, Julia Roberts. What was her character's name in Steel Magnolias?
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah.
So anyway, as she's cutting it, I can feel in the back that it's not feeling like a blunt cut. It's feeling like a layered cut. And sure enough,
Uh-oh.
because you saw me, that hair, it was like, it wasn't even layered. It was stacked, right? And I kept saying, are you cutting more off? She goes, no, this is just so it lays right. And she had me convinced. Oh gosh, that was the shortest haircut I've ever had. I had two choices at that point. I looked in the mirror and I could either burst into tears or I could say it's just hair and it will grow out. The problem, well, I did not burst into tears, thankfully, but I did just kind of say, whatever, it's not what I wanted. And I did say I will never go back to her again. But you have to maintain a short haircut, right? Like as it grows out, you can't just grow out something that has that sort of defined style to it. So I had to keep getting it sort of cut that way, which I could not stand, but it did grow out, thank God. But when I see the pictures of me, I mean, there's a Lebovitz family photo of me holding Abe as an infant, and I still have that. I'm staring at it right now. That's why I'm getting a little bit upset. So, I mean, I'm still...
Are you crying?
No, I'm
Are you
not
crying?
crying. I'm
No.
not crying. But I still have that stupid haircut, and I can't get away with it. Which,
Shelby.
yeah, Shelby. Oh, Shelby.
Shelby,
You
what
cut
have
off
you
your
done
beautiful
to my
hair.
I think if we all had Dolly Parton as our hairstylist, we could do anything.
If we just Dolly for anything, we could do anything.
So one time when we lived in Albuquerque for about 6 months, which I just call it our extended honeymoon, Aaron needed to go get his hair cut. His dad said, go to my barber shop, wait for the guy in the middle. I can't vouch for any other barbers. Just wait for the guy in the middle. So what did Aaron do?
He just went to any barber.
He just said that the first guy said, I'm available. He goes, okay. He came home with a haircut so bad, his own mother told him he looked stupid.
Oh, no.
When I say he had that Dumb and Dumber haircut, I am not exaggerating.
Oh, no.
And he looked at me and he goes, I'll just go back tomorrow and I'll get it fixed. And I looked at him and I go, we will fix it now. So I got the razor, right? What is that called? The electric razor?
Yeah, the shaver, the shears.
Shears, the clippers, whatever they're called. And keep in mind, I don't know how to use those. And
they're not as easy as they make them look to be.
No, they are not, because I started to shave his head, and the first words out of my mouth were probably the worst thing you want to hear when you're getting your head shaved by your wife, which is, what do you think?
Uh-oh.
Oops. Uh-oh. And he goes, what? It was a lot shorter than I thought it was going to be. So I ended up having to shave his entire head. But, he's got a pretty face. He's got big, giant blue eyes. He looked very handsome, I thought. But it was he's pretty conservative when it comes to dressing and hairstyles. So he was not too happy.
Well, I started COVID cuts in our backyard during the beginning of COVID. I cut the boys' hair, cut some friends' hair, cut Alan's hair. And now he won't let me stop. So for the past 11 months, we have been doing home haircuts. He has a pair of shears, and I've learned how to do, like, I start with an 11, go to the 9, go to the 7, every so often the 5, and then I trim it up on the back. And then every so often, for some reason, it's not like I'm not at home all the time. He is very impatient, and he can't wait for me. So he tries to shear himself. This is, anybody listening, do not give yourself a haircut, right? This is like the 5-year-old who decides to cut her brother's hair because she thinks she has skills for some reason. So one time I find him and he's like, yeah, this is the last thing you want to hear. Not just your spouse saying, uh-oh, but your husband going, uh-oh, can you help me? I'm like, what did you do? It's like talking to a 5-year-old. I go, he has literally shaved a stripe across the bottom of the back of his neck, right? Or the top of his head, base of the hair. And I'm like, yeah, there's nothing I can do. There's literally nothing I can do unless I shave it. No, it was literally as if somebody did an uh-oh, right? Like that He said, well, I put it on a 5. I just wanted it a little shorter. I said, don't you know, you have to wait for me. I do the back. You can do the front because you can see the front.
See it.
Yeah, it's really simple. The part you can see, go ahead and cut. The part you can't, let somebody else do. So I don't doubt he's going to try it again one day soon because he'll feel it. Right now he feels it. And if it's just like a millimeter over it, he wants it gone. It is so short right now. So I will be cutting hair forever. Yeah. Here's my real question though.
Yeah.
When do we have to get what I call the grandma cut, right? Like when I was little, I feel like I asked mommy, at what age are you required to have that bouffant or whatever they call it, like the very, very short where it looks like it's been in hot rollers and then teased out. And then you have to wear like a plastic grocery bag over your head when you're caught in the rain, right? Like every grandmother I knew growing up had this haircut, right? And when I think about it, Mimi had it, of course, but like had it forever. And let's put it into context. Mimi was 48 when I was born. Okay. So let's assume my first memories of her hair, were probably 5, 6, or maybe even earlier, right? She was not much older than I am. And she had what I consider the grandma cut. And I just assumed everybody who became a grandma had to get that sort of haircut.
But back to your theory is that she's just always had that haircut, right? Because like mommy, at a certain point, she stopped wearing a beehive, probably when you were born, and and she's worn her hair basically in a ponytail or a bun.
Yep.
And now she wears it down most of her life. She used to wear it curly and down, but she's beaten her hair into submission. I don't think her hair could ever be curly again. I've been following all of these curly hair Facebook groups where people share what products to use, strategies for your hair. And there's people who have been straightening their hair and they have to start from the beginning. They may as well shave their head, but they show their hair over a 5-year period of what it looks like after they stop straightening it or dyeing it or damaging their hair. And you really have to train it to be curly again or just make healthier hair choices or whatever.
I will say I do not have to retrain my hair, and I should just take a picture. When I get out of the shower, I put it in a towel, and then I sort of towel dry it before I'm about to blow it dry. It is so curly. It is crazy curly. It was my hair just will never be beaten into submission. It's amazing. It's amazing that I can get it this straight. I'm always really shocked that I can make it look straight when it is really that curly. And every so often I do think, oh, that looks good, but I know it's not going to dry the way it is right out of the shower. Those perfect curls. But no, mine will not. I wish mine would finally just give up and retreat and say, okay, you beat us.
Well, you would have to get a curly haircut. That's the thing. Your hair's cut for a straight look.
Right.
Right. So that's the other thing. I want to kind of take the conversation back, though, because we were talking earlier about steel magnolias and Mimi, who is our maternal grandmother who was born and raised in Montgomery, Alabama. And we talk a lot about being Southern Jews, but I think people don't realize this whole subculture that goes along with that, including the accent of a Southern Jew, right? And we had a recent family email that was sent out where one of our cousins, Jordan, found all these recordings of our relatives talking about their opening gifts on Hanukkah. And I really think I just want people to hear this Southern accent because there's nothing like this in the world anymore. And it sounds like Steel Magnolias, which sounds like a fake accent. But these accents, as Uncle Tim said, it took the entire tape for Aunt Sarah to say gorgeous, right?
It's the gorgeous.
That is just gorgeous. And look at that. That color's going to look so good on you. But what makes it so endearing, and I think everyone will be so surprising for our listeners, is that then they say, well, this is a great Hanukkah gift, right? Because people are used to, I think, Jews either having a New York accent or a Florida accent, which is a New York accent, right? They're not used to us having these genteel, sugary sweet, ancient sounding Southern accents.
And let's put it into further context, right? The Mimi and her 4 siblings were born to immigrants from Turkey who never lost their accent, right? Our great-grandmother, Granny, she spoke Ladino and Turkish and barely English, even though she was in this country for 65, 70 years, right? So they didn't pick up these accents from their heritage or from their lineage. They picked it up from their surroundings. And it is also, I will agree, further proof that as much as we think we have nailed these Southern accents, when I always say Mimi's my only and best impersonation, we have never done it justice, right? These tapes are proof we could not do it justice because it feels like an SNL skit, that it is so overdone for effect.
Yes.
Yeah. We have been underplaying this for years.
Right.
For years.
I can exaggerate it even more. It was so exciting to hear. And I'm going to use this as reference from now on. If someone says that is not what it sounds like, I'm going to be like, here you go.
I know. Wait, so let's let people hear. This is proof that we have been underplaying these accents for our entire lives.
Oh, this is Arlene's.
Oh, what's that? Oh, that's that Spike's rack you were telling me about today.
What is it, card? There's a
my
card.
Godparents.
To who?
To my godparents.
I thought I was
from
the
David.
godparent.
You're the godparent.
I
You don't know it?
No, I I didn't know.
Arlene and Milton.
I
You're
naturally
the second.
assumed I was the godparent.
Well,
Lady's name.
That's a hell of an assumption.
oh, is that gorgeous? I love it.
Where we gonna
Isn't
keep it
Open yours,
beautiful?
Bob.
I'm gonna put
Oh,
it
yeah.
even in the living room of the den. It's
Hey.
gorgeous.
Let me open mine.
Okay, it's Bobby's time.
Where's my knife?
Give Bobby the
Have a
knife.
nice Bob. Got it. Make the most of it.
Unbelievable. It's still, I can, I'm going to turn it into how do you turn something like that into your ringer, your ringtone?
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
think you have to just download it. I don't know. We've got. I'll look to see what the hack is for that. But what I found so funny was that evidently Mommy gave them Uncle Sigmund and Aunt Sarah a spice rack for Hanukkah that was so nice she wanted to put it in the living room. Did you hear that part? I was like, that is so like over the top.
Right.
Appreciative, and it's so cute because they're so happy and appreciative of everything, and they give each other a hard time, and then they're like, no, that was really just lovely. No, like, I don't know if it's Trisha who's saying, oh, you gave me a manicure set. I guess you're hinting that my nails don't look good. I'm just kidding. I love this. I've always wanted that. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Papa. Thank you.
We're just going to call it Steel Montgomery because that's oh gosh, it is. But besides the fact that today we take for granted that everything is, you have a video on your iPhone and you have recordings from people, and there's so many ways that we've captured people. These, and big shout out, I think you said it, but to our cousin Jordan Taffet, who dug these up in Uncle Bob's shed, I think, in garage, and found and uncovered this treasure trove, and then was so gracious to share it with all of us. And just, those would have been memories, precious memories that would have been lost had he not been, just curious about. So I love it. I can't wait. The boys haven't heard it yet. Alan hasn't heard it yet, but now, and they'll know that we have some work to do on our imitations now. Well, anyway, so back to full circle, of course, with the hair. I have no intention of really changing my hair. If if anything, I may invest in a wig one day just to see what that looks like. That's the safe way. Yeah.
Unless you decide to get a Brazilian wax. That's a different kind of hairstyle.
Oh, I was like, that's not your, okay.
The Valentine's Day is coming up, so, surprise, Alan. That's not something you want to DIY.
Oh, gosh.
That is
not something I'm going to DIY. And now I've got Steve Carell's voice in my head going, Kelly Clarkson.
Was that from 40-year-old version?
Yes.
Yeah. He did not look 40. By the way, that is not what 40-year-olds look like. I think Steve Carell's really like 55 in 40-year-old version, right?
First of all, it's virgin. You keep
Virgin. I know. I'm saying virgin. Virgin.
The 40-year-old, but he was a 55-year-old version of a 40-year-old virgin. You have that right.
Speaking of people who always look the same age, Paul Rudd. I have a theory about him that I just wanted to share real quickly. It's that people are like, he doesn't age, but it's not that he doesn't age and he still looks like he's 25. It's that he's always looked like he's 45. So
right.
he's just now catching up.
He's finally caught up to his looks.
That's right. Well, thanks for listening to the latest Sis and Tell podcast. You got a haircut style you want to share with us that you think we should have? Tell us. I don't know. Make a post about it. Email us, sisters@sisandtell.com. Share us with your friends.
We especially want to hear from those of you who might have descended from that red-headed shtetl. So let us know if that's you. As always, this has been Amanda and Alison with a whole lot of talk about a whole lot of nothing. We'll catch you next time.